Get ready for some cool talk. Presented by Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing. With your host, Brandon Brown.
Morning. Welcome to Cool Talk, Hot Topics, with your host, Brandon here. Woody, I may have to get some, I love the intro music, but maybe we should do a Christmas one between now and the next few weeks.
You and your Christmas, man.
We started decorating today at the office, so.
You'd play that year round.
Oh, I would, yeah. And speaking of that, if you have not downloaded the free Grove Street FM app, do it right now. The music channels are locked and loaded in there. There's a ton of them to choose from, and not just Christmas, any music. So all free. Download the app, and then also you'll have all the news and updates going around Bedford too, because there's a lot of stuff coming up, with Christmas parades and different events, and you can keep up with everything going on in Bedford and the surrounding areas. So get your app free today. Grove Street FM. Just go to app stores and search it. You'll see Grover and the GS FM logo, and download it free. I listen to that all the way here.
Nice.
Apple Play in the truck.
Easy to use, right?
Christmas. Oh, just hit the button. I hit the app, music, Christmas, boom, it was on.
You take it with you anywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay.
So definitely make sure you're doing that. And it's just crazy. It's November 1st. We've gone from 80-degree weather to 25-degree weather. So winter is here, hopefully to stay. I'm tired of the change. And today we're going to be just talking about plumbing stuff. We are going to bring up a lot of plumbing specials that Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing's running right now. Different plumbings and different jobs we can do that some people don't know about, since it's, basically was heating and air for 16, 17 years. And now plumbing's, basic kind of new to us for the past year. So I brought in Rob. Rob is here, who is our plumbing supervisor. He has all the plumbing knowledge. So need somebody to be able to explain it better than I can. But Rob's, tell us a little bit about the plumbing stuff we have at Brown's now, what we can do, what calls we're looking for, but also some of the specials we got going and different water heaters. It's so much to cover with plumbing. We want all of our listeners to know about, so that you know who to call. So, like, do I call Brown's for this? Do I call Brown's for that? Can they do this and that? So welcome, Rob. Let us know some plumbing knowledge.
All right. Well, my name is Rob. I've had 18 years of experience, going on 19 years of experience in plumbing. I'm a state licensed master plumber, so whenever you call us, just know that you're in good hands. A lot of our listeners out there, they're looking for somebody that knows what they're doing, and we definitely are. Our plumbers definitely know what they're doing. Together, we have over 40 years of combined experience with our plumbing department. So, and our plumbing department is currently growing.
Yes.
So, with that said, one of the big topics that people are looking for, especially people that are on wells, they're looking for water treatment. They don't even know what's wrong with their water. We had one customer, she was getting pinhole leaks in her copper, and not knowing, why do I have to call a plumber out here every 6 months to get these pinhole leaks to stop? So we acted like a detective. We ran a complete laboratory analysis. We took a water sample of her water. We ran a complete laboratory analysis, and we sent it off to our lab in Indiana, and they came back and said she had high pH.
Very acidic
water. And so our water test checks for hardness, checks for pH, checks for iron, checks for manganese, tannins, all the bad things that would ruin your plumbing system. So
and not healthy for yourself, probably.
Right. It's not healthy to drink very acidic water. We did another test, and the guy's water was so acidic it was leaching out copper. It was eroding away the copper pipe. The water was so acidic it was eroding away the copper inside of his piping system. And he was drinking 8 times the EPA maximum of copper, which, I mean, that's not healthy for you. So if you're looking for somebody to do water treatment, definitely give Brown's Heating, Air, and Plumbing a call. We can definitely get your water analyzed. We can work with our supplier. We work with the lab. We can tell you exactly what you need for your house.
And right now we're running a home inspection special, which is included. Some water test is included in that, correct?
Yes, we'll do a free on-site water hardness test. And so hardness, So if you're on a well, or if you're on city water and you want to put in a tankless water heater, always get your hardness checked. It's critical, because with a tankless water heater, it's going to build up calcium very fast, and I've seen them go bad in as little as 2 years because you're heating water up really fast.
Yeah.
But what our plumbing inspection does right now, we're offering for non-members, it's $69 if you're not a member. If you sign up to be a member, it's $39. And we cover, it's a 70-point plumbing inspection. We cover everything top to bottom.
Wow.
We go through your entire plumbing system. We look at all your valves. We look at your shower valves. We look at your bathtubs. We look at your outside hose bibs. We check the incoming pressure to your house. If you are on a well, we check your pressure tank, your pressure switch. We're basically leaving no stone unturned. With that said, we recently did a home inspection and we found like 15 items that a customer,
People didn't know about. They was just leaks behind cabinets in this guy's. This guy had a Roman bathtub, and we removed the panel, and you could just see it. Something he had never paid attention to, and it was leaking behind the bathtub. Yeah. So that just sits there and leaks slowly, rottens your wood, mold, mildew, and just steadily runs water that you'll never find till it busts even bigger.
Right, and it was actually leaking. His bathtub was over top of the garage, and he didn't realize it until he walked out in the garage, and he said, "Oh, that's what that spot is."
Oh yeah, yeah. And so the bathtub could fall through your through your floor into your garage.
Yep. But we'll go through everything top to bottom. You get a complete report, and then we give you options that suit you best. You know, it's like you said last week, or even if you don't do something today, look, these are the items that we found that need to be addressed.
Yep. This train sometimes comes through. We'll let it go. They like to let you know they're there, but
It's hard to stop a train.
It's hard to stop a train. Yeah. But yeah, this inspection, full home inspection, takes a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours. You're not obligated to do anything at the time. Rob and the plumbers show you a list of things they find. They even show you this thing so you know, hey, this is what's going on. This is how you fix it. Sometimes it's an emergent, like, hey, these things need to be fixed pretty soon, because you don't want to go on vacation and come back and have a flooded house.
Yeah, and the other thing that customers will run into is a very high water bill, and they'll get a notification from their municipal water authority saying, hey, your water bill is really high. And one of the sneaky culprits on that is the toilet tanks. The tanks are leaking from the tank into the bowl. So what we do is we dye test each one of the tanks to check for leaks between the tank and the bowl. We use a blue dye, it doesn't stain anything, and you will be surprised the number of people that realize that are on municipal water. They don't realize that they have a small leak, and that's making their water bill go sky high. We can check for that.
And that's a cheap fix.
Yeah, it's just, hey, guys, look, it's literally a 30-minute test, and we turn your water blue so you can invite all your friends and family over and say, look, I got blue water in all my toilets for the next 24 hours.
And that'll show you in what's leaking or where your water's going. If it's a high bill and you're not running anything normal, abnormal, it's going somewhere.
Correct. And the other thing that we offer that a lot of other companies don't offer is we actually offer thermal imaging for leak detection. We can actually look into the wall for hot water lines. As long as it's nothing like heavy plaster or a lot of insulation, we can actually look into the wall and see where your water pipe is running. So that means, there's no guessing where I have to cut if I've got to fix a water leak.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thermal, you can take a camera up and down the walls and kind of pinpoint the lines. And then you also can do, I know a couple weeks ago we did a smoke test for a customer that had several plumbing companies out, had some issues. I don't know if that was a high water bill too.
No. So
that was
we had a customer call us and they said,
smell.
We're getting a really bad smell. And we've had 2 plumbers out here. Nobody can seem to solve this smell.
Yeah.
They pulled the toilet and they reset the toilet. They put a new wax ring in. One plumber even caulked the whole toilet to the floor, thinking to get rid of the smell. They were still having the smell. And so we talked to the customer and said, you need a smoke test, which the way that works is we use a blower and we blow smoke. It's theatrical. It's non-toxic. We blow it into your drainage system, and anywhere where there's a hole or a gap or a crack in the pipe, it's going to blow out.
Right.
And so we actually determined that, and the previous plumbers had missed it. We actually determined that the flange had not been glued to the floor, and it was pouring out. It was pouring out from underneath the toilets.
So still, even though it was caulked and reset, it still was leaking out.
It was still.
So you saw the smoke coming out, and you have a visual. Like, you look at the customer. Look, this is where if the smoke can come out, smells are going to come out.
Exactly. And so what we did is we pulled the toilet, and then we plugged the flange, and then we redid the smoke test, and you can actually see the smoke coming up around the flange. And we said that flange is most likely not glued. We unscrewed the flange, pulled it out, and literally it just came right out in our hands.
Because it wasn't glued.
Because it wasn't glued.
Reset it, and then the smoke was gone.
And so it's getting to the root cause. Yep. It's taking out, it's like the same thing with water treatment, smoke test, thermal imaging. It's taking out the guesswork that a lot of some of the other companies, they're just guessing.
Yeah.
Our thing is we want to get to the root cause. We want to treat the customer right. Let's get to the root cause of the problem.
Because it's easy fixes, and there's no need in having a high water bill for months and no answers. If you have any kind of issues with your water, tasting funny, smelling funny, looking funny, these tests can be done. These tests that you do, we can do most of them on site, but there are some we have to send off, correct? And then they takes a couple weeks to come back. But that's a full lab. I saw the one that came back with the high acid, and I mean, he got a full lab. Like, it was like 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
Like a report from a water lab saying this is what your issues are and this is how we need to fix it. And then we can provide estimates to fix that.
Absolutely.
To fix that is water in the treatment. And it's I think it's under talked about. Nobody really thinks about water treatment. And I had this a couple of years ago in my house. We even had Bedford County Water. And everybody that even if own county water, people just go straight to trust in the water company. Well, then we got a notice in the mail: don't drink the water. It's still high acidic even after being treated. And we're like, what in the world? So let's buy bottled water for a while. But so don't take for granted, even though you're on county water or well water, you may still need to test it and put some filters in place to protect you and your kids and family.
Well, and the other thing that we'll run into is that people that move from the county and they're on a well and they move into the city and they hate the taste of the chlorine.
Yeah.
It's like some people will say, it's burning. I feel like my skin's burning. It tastes like a swimming pool. We can get rid of the chlorine. No problem.
Yeah.
That's another, we're not scared to confront the chlorine taste at all.
Yeah. And then switching a little bit, gears, we have a water heater special going right now. I think it's $100 off.
Yes.
And there's different and it's just like heating and air, and I talk to people all the time. The brand matters, type of the way they're built matters. I know you can go to just Lowe's and Home Depot and you can get a affordable water heater, but is it something that's going to last and something that you're not going to have to worry about maintenance and stuff? So there are some brands you trust the most. For that we provide. We provide all brands, whatever the customer wants, but we provide what are your top water heater look, when you're looking for a water heater.
So just like Trane is our preferred brand for heating and air.
Yep.
Rheem is our preferred brand for water heaters.
Yep.
They're easy to work on, they're reliable. Like if I install a Rheem tankless water heater compared to say their competitors, the only thing a service tech needs to work on that unit is a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. It can take apart the entire unit. Unlike the other brands where you got to have a whole toolbox of tools to be able to work on the thing. When I get to a Rheem tankless water heater, all I need to do is have a number 2 Phillips head screwdriver, and I could take the whole thing apart.
So Rheem, we have several brands, but Rheem stands out a little bit, and they have a little bit better warranty, correct? On their tanks and
They do. So if we can do a traditional tank install, which is, here's how water heaters are made, just a little crash course. They're glass-lined steel tanks. That every water heater that's out there, 90% of the water heaters, even the ones you can get at Lowe's, the ones that we sell, they're glass-lined steel tanks.
Right.
They're all eventually going to rust out.
Okay.
Because what happens inside of the tank, there is an anode rod. People don't even realize that they're supposed to change these anode rods every 3 years. And so the anode rod is designed for it to be consumed by the water. It's a sacrificial metal. Just about every water heater has one. They're supposed to be changed out every 3 years.
And on the home inspection, you pull these and show the customer where they are and what they look like.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes you pull it out and there's nothing. There's nothing even attached. It's gone.
Because it's wore out, the water's bad, or it's been in there so long, they just go away.
Right. So we install a new anode rod if they need a new anode rod. The other thing that we offer is a powered anode rod. And what the powered anode rod would do is it's not gonna deteriorate. It's made out of titanium, and it works off of an electrical rectifier. It works off of a current that you plug into the wall. This thing, especially with a brand new tank, it'll make your tank last 20 years with annual drainings and staying on top of the maintenance, which people don't realize. Water heaters require annual maintenance. You're supposed to drain them down once a year to remove all the sediment. One of the things that kind of sets Rheem apart from the other brands, and Rheem offers a line of products called the Marathon, the Rheem Marathon water heaters. And here's what sets this tank apart from the rest. The Marathon water heater is made entirely out of thermoplastic.
Okay.
There is nothing in this tank to rust.
Okay. So it should be this should be the only one you ever need.
Yeah. Rheem is so confident in this tank's ability that say you want us to install a 50-gallon Rheem Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Rheem is so confident that this tank is going to withstand the test of time. They are offering a lifetime warranty on the tank.
Wow. Yeah.
Most of your steel tanks, you're only going to get 6, maybe a 10-year warranty. But for a company to say, we guarantee that this tank will last the lifetime of the home.
Yeah, that's huge.
The house is going to fall down before this water heater goes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that has maintenance required for that every few years to do that?
And so the Marathon, unlike traditional water heaters, the bottoms are flat. So you're never going to get all that calcium built up out. With the Marathon, it's shaped like the bottom of a bowl, and the drain is located right at the very bottom of the bowl. You're going to get 99% of that calcium out every time you drain the water heater.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, they lifetime warranty. And if you're thinking about it, we always offer heating and air. We offer 14, 15, 16 SEER. That's kind of like saying this is your 1820 SEER water heater, the higher efficiency water heater that costs a little more upfront to do. But if you don't have to replace it every 7-8 years, it's going to pay for itself easily.
Right. And I tell customers all the time, I say, look, it is a little bit more expensive than a regular water heater install, but it's the last water heater you're ever going to have. There's a difference between investment and cost.
Yeah.
Investment is, what do I spend right now? The cost is, okay, if I put in a steel tank every 10 years, sometimes every 8 years, if you're on a well with bad water, I'm having to pay all this extra money to get my tank replaced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rheem is sitting there saying, guys, we promise you that this thing,
if it does fail, we got you back.
Yeah,
we're going to replace it.
They've actually taken tanks to the factory that were full of sediment, cut them in half, and been like, "All right, we'll honor the warranty."
Yeah, that's right. That's good. And you got that's one thing. People that stand behind their product is just as important as the product. You can trust the people that sells the company that sells these to us because they're men of their words, and that makes a huge difference.
It does.
So yeah, we do have a water heater special going right now. You can call. So far, we talked about the home inspection, and we've talked about the water heater special. So you make sure you call us 434-610-4373. Request one of those. Coming in January, we're working now with Rob to develop a plumbing maintenance plan to coincide with your heating and air. So if you get a membership, we're going to have a plumbing type membership with benefits in that as well, where you get your home inspected once a year. If you get a heating and air membership now, it already includes 5% off of like major upgrades, 10% off of repairs and service costs. So you're already getting the benefits with the plumbing if you have a heating and air membership, but we're going to have plumbing memberships rolling out soon. And there's some other, we also are looking at, I think it's a sump pump special going on.
So with the specials, what we're trying to do,
Christmas is coming. We're full of specials. Fill your stockings with all these plumbing specials. Okay, because the only thing we do not drain is your bank account.
That's
so.
Exactly
This is cool talk, hot topics right here. So make sure you write these. If you want a gift card for your family member and it's for plumbing, one of these specials, we will give you a gift card.
Well, you know what will drain your bank account is a water emergency.
A water emergency.
I mean, what's the cost?
Yeah.
What's the cost? I mean, we're $39 if you sign up to be a member. What's the cost if you've got water damage?
Yeah.
Pipe burst.
That and sometimes insurances will deny you, or you fight them for years.
Right.
So a lot of specials, and another one is we got some sump pumps.
Right. And so and what we're trying to do with these specials is get homeowners to be proactive. Let's be proactive. The water heater, it sits in a closet and we don't think about it. It just sits in the closet that does its thing until it goes bad, and then the water heater's leaking all over the floor. The same thing goes with the sump pump. When was the last time that you checked your sump pump in your basement?
Yeah.
Do you have a sump pump? If you have
don't wait for a hurricane or frozen weather to check your sump pump.
Right. And I'll tell you this, if we have a power outage due to like a lot of floods or you just have a lot of flooding going on, you still have power, you go to the home improvement stores, they usually are sold out within hours. So now what we're trying to do is get customers, let's be proactive. So we're offering $40 off sump pump installs. When was the last time you checked your sump pump?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know if it's working? If you don't know if it's working, hey, sign up for a plumbing inspection. We'll come check it out top to bottom. With that said, we install just like, with Liberty, with Trane and Rheem, the brand that we trust the most when it comes to sump pumps is Liberty. We feel like Liberty is the most reliable across the board. One of the things that you always hear customers talk about is they want a battery backup sump pump.
Yep.
They want a battery backup in case the power goes out. And that's a great idea if you are in the county where you're on a well.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a battery backup sump pump is only going to run what happens to all batteries? They wear out. They run down. You use up the capacity of the battery. So that is I can get about 11 hours of runtime out of a battery backup sump pump. A much better solution for a backup sump pump, if you're in the city and you're on municipal water, is Liberty offers a product, and we can install it as part of the sump pump discount. It's a sump jet. It works off of water that is fed into your home. It needs a 3/4 inch line run into the pump, and then it essentially works like a old jet pump.
Yeah.
It pulls the water out, it spins the motor, it pulls the water out, and it's shooting water out. So yeah, you're using a little bit of extra water, but
but at least you're not flooding your basement.
You're not flooding your basement. You've got
and it should be temporary. Hopefully you get power back in your
But if you remember, like a couple of years ago in 2018, it rained for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Power lines, trees were over power lines.
Yep.
Power lines were down.
I'm just thinking about this summer. We had just 2 days of heavy rain, and there were so many basements flooded because either some pumps weren't working or they were working, but they never got the other end of the drain inspected. It was full of dirt and leaves. And so then you're paying thousands of dollars, which you could prevent this a whole lot cheaper. One, to make sure your pump's new or working. If not, make sure the drain's clear, because birds, animals, everything will clog it. Dirt, sediment.
Well, and sometimes you see the handyman special where they tie the sump pump direct, especially if you're on a septic tank. They tie the sump pump into the house drain,
and
that's bad
against code.
No,
just bad for your.
That's bad for your drainage fields. So that with your septic,
they need to run out it needs to run out to daylight somewhere.
If you're inundating that septic field full of water every time it rains, you're looking at premature drain field failure.
Yeah. Yep. So really good info. We only got a few minutes left. So one thing I want to hit on before we leave, of course, like I was talking about at the beginning of the show, the temperature has dropped. Now people start to think about, or they don't think about, frozen water lines. Are there things homeowners can do and need to be doing this week to, one, prepare their house for the winter, to prevent frozen water lines, or things they could look for or do? There's some tips and stuff that they could take home today and look at.
So here's the biggest misconception when it comes to frozen pipes. If I insulate it, it's fine. Well, if you insulate it, you know how as a HVAC professional, how heat transfer works.
Right.
All insulation does is just slow down
it slows the process. Yeah.
But once the pipe is frozen, it stays frozen.
Yeah.
It actually stays. You just created a big igloo cooler, essentially, what you've done around the pipe. A better option is you can leave the pipes exposed and install a heater down in your crawl space, so the pipes are constantly being heated.
Okay.
You can also install heat tracing.
Yeah.
Which is a wire that runs on the bottom of the pipe. You have to make any home center would have it.
Right.
You can attach the thermostat right to the bottom of the pipe.
Disconnect your water hose.
And disconnect your water hoses.
I know there's some antifreeze faucets and spigots, but it's just safer just if you know it's going to be below freezing, just disconnect them, drain them.
Yep.
Don't give it any kind of challenge.
Yeah, if you've got the garden hose still connected, even if it's a frost free, the water's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, you need to drain it. Or at least open it up. You know, they're frost free as long as it ain't full of water. I mean, if you fill a faucet with spigot with water, you still, if it turns ice, it's hard to stop, to slow that down. So you want to at least try to keep the water out as much as possible.
Right. And if we get into another deep freeze like we went into last Christmas, leave your water running on a small, like pencil thin trickle.
Yeah. That's good.
It's harder to stop. It's harder to freeze
as long as it's moving. And everything we're going over today with these specials, we look for in the inspection, which that special's running now. We have gotten a ton of people lined up. Call us at the 610-4373. Tell them you want the whole home inspection. Literally $69 or $39 will save you thousands. We will show you these things, and we may even show you tips and tell you where to go to Lowe's and fix it yourself. We're not trying to come out there and just say, here's a lot of issues, we need your money to fix it. We're going to give you tips. We're going to show you where 90% of the people probably don't even know how to cut their main water off to their house if it was a flooded thing in a weekend or holiday. And they just need to know how to cut the water off until a plumber can get there to fix a water leak. We'll show you where those valves are, and we'll make sure they work because they could be seized up. They could be in a bad spot. You need to know how to cut the water off, who to call if there's any leaks. So we go through all of this. It's very, very thorough. There's a lot of stuff in your house if you've been there for a while or not been there and you've got a new house and need to know some stuff that we can look at and give you some tips. And if you need estimates, we provide free estimates while we're there, for water heater upgrades or anything we find on site. So definitely keep that in mind. Keep us in mind for your heating and air and your plumbing needs. And then we will bring, as soon as we get the heating and air, plumbing combo maintenance agreements and all the information together, I will bring Rob and Dylan back on the podcast. We'll talk about those. We'll give you the prices, the discounts, all the benefits. But call us soon. It's cold. If you have any emergency issues, please call us. We're here to help. We're growing, and we're going to treat you right, and we're going to be honest. Just like heating and air, you've trusted us for so long. You can trust us the same with plumbing. We look forward to working for you. Thank you, Rob, for coming in.
Thank you.
And there's so much more we can go over, but of course 30 minutes flies when you're having fun. But we'll do it again. We're going to have it on soon. We'll go over some plans, but remember to give us a call and have a great week.